Spoilers ahead, The Witcher fans get to take a trip back in time in The Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf. The new anime film introduces fans to a younger version of Vesemir, the beloved mentor of Geralt of Rivia. In the film, we first meet Vesemir at a time when he is young, arrogant, and obsessed with his ability to earn coins for his craft. Everything changes though when a determined and vengeful mage named Tetra decides it's time to make a move on Kaer Morhen to end the Witcher line for good. Not only is the film filled with riveting fight sequences and fascinating creatures, but there are also a ton of Easter eggs scattered throughout for fans of the books, video games, and, of course, the live-action series. One thing fans of The Witcher streaming series are bound to notice right away is how many moments in the movie echo some key scenes in the show. For example, The Witcher's infamous bath scene gets a nod, as Vesemir is also shown enjoying some time in the tub in the pic. Vesemir also seems to have preceded Geralt in having some tense confrontations at local pubs, since we see that even at a time when Witchers are less universal outcasts, he is confronted by a few knights. On top of all that, there's even a scene in which Vesemir aligns with the stunning mage Tetra for a flirty skirmish with a basilisk, much like Geralt and Yennefer joined forces for a fight during the dragon hunt in The Witcher. All of these scenarios have different origins and outcomes, of course, but for those who have checked out The Witcher, Nightmare of the Wolf finds quite a few ways to wink at the way history repeats. Another thing fans are bound to notice in Nightmare of the Wolf is the devastating lens it puts on the fall of the elf kind, and perhaps the reason Geralt is so knowledgeable about and sympathetic to their plight. In The Witcher, we meet Filavandrel at his most desperate hour, living on the edge of the world and subsisting on stolen wares to survive with the few elves that remain. However, Nightmare of the Wolf shows him at a slightly less precarious time. We see an elf school that's been turned to ashes, but he is still hopeful that he can stop the bloodletting by getting to the bottom of a mysterious string of elf disappearances. Unfortunately, it's a bit too late by the time Vesemir finally tries to help, and Phil is only able to rescue one mutated elf girl from a pile of bones. Vesemir's act of mercy in letting Phil take the potentially dangerous elf into his own care could be one of the reasons Filavandrel chooses to give grace to Geralt in The Witcher as well.
I should have offered up some coin, then you would have handled matters.
It was not a question of price.
Since Nightmare of the Wolf gives us a glimpse into the lives of the Witchers before they were all but eradicated at the Battle of Kaer Morhen, it's not just Vesemir who spends time casting spells and slaying monsters throughout the movie. The film gives fans a chance to see a full-on Witcher brigade in action together, not to mention the training of young Witchers. One Easter egg that is meant for the true Witcher faithful is the moment when Vesemir predicts the young Witchers who are most likely to make it.
We stay and see who survives.
That could take days. It'll be Eskel, Lambert, maybe Remus.
In Witcher lore, Eskel and Lambert are, like Geralt, students of the School of the Wolf and train with Vesemir. And while Remus is also a pupil of the Witcher School, Witcher watchers will know that he meets a rather unfortunate fate in the series when he's killed by the Striga that Geralt ends up facing. That episode of The Witcher was written by Nightmare of the Wolf scribe Beau DeMayo. The fact that Vesemir mentions Remus and then boasts about easily dispelling a Striga right after is probably not a coincidence. For those Witcher fans who were hoping to see Vesemir and his protege Geralt of Rivia together in Nightmare of the Wolf, the final moments of the film are certainly satisfying. Because yes, Geralt is one of the 4 young Witchers who managed to escape from the sack on Kaer Morhen, and in fact, he's the reason they could get away. As it turns out, Geralt was already prepared to run away from the Witcher School and found a way out that later comes in handy when it is time for him and his peers to escape. And when these tiny survivors are rounded up by Vesemir, who was previously reluctant to become a Witcher trainer, he gives them all a choice whether to continue. It's Geralt who hesitates, at which point Vesemir repeats the recruitment phrase he heard from his own mentor Deglin.
But they hate us.
There'll always be another monster, Geralt.
And the rest, of course, is history. Thanks for watching. Click the links in our video to watch more from Netflix Film Club. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the latest exclusive videos. Plus, hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.